So that was a no-no, but to do Alpo, he was such a thinker and a manipulator. Once Rayful got knocked off, it's an open market. So all that money Rayful getting, you know what I mean? Alpo said, I can get that money. Because he had to connect. He had the product. And he had SIP. That's a win-win situation. You know what I mean? Sick ain't never had no money like that. So once he see he got somebody that's gonna supply him this, that, and but you know, I ain't gonna let nobody do nothing to him. And Apple set up shop, man, and he was slick. He started eliminating the competition. He started eliminating dudes out of DC that was getting money and was taking care of everybody else. One thing I like about DC dudes and DC hustlers, they ain't turned their back on nobody when they start getting money. They looked out for people. They looked out for families. They took care of the women and the women's families. They took care of all the convicts. So we was hearing it, but we ain't like it. And we was sending word that y'all got to kill them dudes, man. I don't care if they're from Jamaica, New York, Florida, Detroit. Only people I know that came to DC and set up shop was some dope boys out of Detroit called the Thacker Brothers. And they had so much dope, we wanted them to stay in the town because they was, man, giving us some good dope, man. The Thacker Brothers, that was in the early 70s out of Detroit.
Message!
Look, it's out of my hands, and you getting money round here, it's not in the plans. Don't hop your ass out of that van, head back to Kansas. I'm sitting.
Now listen, that's called bars. You know nothing about that.
Peace. Back with
Another one
of my installments. Let's talk about it. In that clip, you just heard Fly from DC speaking about how the DC guys were when out-of-towners would try to come down and take over the area in regard to hustling. So I saw this this Queens Flip interview where Queens Flip was interviewing an FBI agent who was based out of DC during the time when DC had it became the murder capital and stuff like that back in the 80s when crack was running rampant and stuff like that in the city. So the FBI agent said that the DC guys would normally try to meet up with the person that had the weight, and they would buy the first time. The second time they would meet up with the guy that had it, they would ask for a discount, and then on the third time they would take them out and then just keep the work. So one of the OGs from around that time period, who I know personally, he would talk about things where it normally wouldn't get to the third time. But of course, the FBI, they don't really have exact information. A lot of their stuff is inflated, and they got a lot of misinformation, to be honest. So, and the old head that I know, he actually used to be around Poe and all them and stuff like that. So what Fly is saying here definitely runs true. And this is what happened in my area too. I'm from the DMV. I'm just from Northern Virginia, right? So there wasn't like one boss that everybody kicked up to and stuff like that. We were all free agents out there. We would buy from the same person, but we would all be out there on our own. It wasn't like one person that was sitting back and giving us work and we were working on consignment and stuff like that. Most of the time, we were buying it on our own and then selling it. And sometimes dude had consignment and sometimes guys would look out and stuff like that. It all depends on the situation, but normally we had our own stuff, you know, and we ran our own block, right? So it never was that type of environment in the DMV where it was just one person making money And we never got jealous of the next person making money. What I've noticed really is just with hustling in general is it's just like life. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So if you are consistently having product, sooner or later you're going to be the one that's on top, because if people are going to be getting locked up, people going to mess their money up, so on and so forth. There's going to be a whole lot of other things that are going to come into the way. But as long as you're staying consistent and you're moving forward, you will eventually be on top. Not as top as far as being the boss of the area, but you're going to pretty much hold down your section because you're consistently having the work. Okay? The other thing that stood true from what Fly was saying is DC guys, they look out for their people, man. You know what I mean? And the DMV too. Like, they look out for their people. It's not going to be, you know, I got it, you ain't going to have it, so on and so forth. It's going to be love, especially with like family, friends, stuff like that. If I got it, you got it. I never saw all that. You know, it might have been tension because of just jealousy. But normally guys in the DMV, if a person was holding them down or being around them, they would be super loyal. Super loyal. It wasn't all that like what Alpo did when he started coming down here. That was another thing. He started killing people because he wanted to be the end all be all. So this is just my 2 cents added on.
Left some jewels in his skull that he could sell if he chose.
Look, this is just free advice from me to you. You take it or you throw it away. It don't matter.
Like, hype, comment, and subscribe. And if you're enjoying the content and you want to donate to the channel, the link to the Cash App will be in the description of this video. It's also in the description of the channel. Thank you for stopping by. And as always, peace.